This is G. Ramachandra working as assistant professor in CSA department, Chalapta Institute of Engineering and Technology, LAM Guntur. Today I will give the lecture on database languages and the types of SQL commands. First we'll be going to discuss about the queries in a DBMS. Here we will consider the sample university database. In this university database can consist of number of tables. Those are the student table, faculty table, courses, rooms, enrolled, teachers, meets in. These are the different tables are to be required in the university database. Each and every table can consist of different columns. For example, we have to be taken as a student table. In the student table can consist of different columns. Those are SID, that is the student ID, name, login, age, GPA. And then the second table, faculty table. In this the faculty table we have to be taken as a columns are FID, FName and then salary. The third table is courses table. In this the courses table can have the columns are CID, CName, credits. The fourth table is rooms. The first column in the rooms is number, address, capacity, and the next column is enrolled table. So in this the enrolled table is then SID is the one column, CID is the another column, and grade is the another column. So actually that's the enrolled table can to be acts as in relationship between two tables. And teachers, that is the teachers is also the one of the relational table that contains the two columns, that is one is for the FID and the second one is for CID. The another last table, this one is also the relational table, that is the meets in relation, that contains the CID, R number and then time. So these all are the different columns are to be there in the different tables. These all tables are to be required when we have to be developing the university database. Here are the some of the questions a user might ask about this the university database. What are those questions? What is the name of the student with student ID is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 like that. Okay, so for example I want to be displaying the name of the student whose student ID is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So in this case how we can to be retrieving the data. And then another type of question is that what is the average salary of professors. Each and every professor can have some salary, and those professors only to be teach the courses CS 5647. Whose professors can to be teach the CS 5647, I want to be get their salary from salary only. Okay, the next, how many students are enrolled in CS 5647? How we can to be get this data? So what fraction of students in CS 564 received a grade better than B7? Okay, when compared to the B7, which students can to be having the better grade in that's the CS 564 course. Then another type of question is that if any student with a CPA is less than 3.0 enrolled in CS 564. So these are the different types of questions are to be related to the university database. How we can to be get the data. So here such questions involving the data stored in a DBMS. So these all questions are to be involved in the data. What data we have to be stored in the database. So this type of all queries we have to be called as queries. The next point here it is that a DBMS provides a special language called the query language, in which queries can be posed. So by using of this query language, so that's the we can to be get the answers from these all these questions or queries. A very attractive feature of the relational model is that it supports the powerful query languages, and then relational calculus and the relational algebra. These are the another type of giving the answers for those queries and retrieving the data from those queries. So that is the relational calculus is one of the querying language. It is based on the mathematical logics, and queries in this language has a intuitive and precise meaning. Okay, and then means simply as in that is the relational calculus, that is a non-procedural query language. And then relational algebra is another formal query language based on the collection of operators for manipulating relations, which is equivalent in power to the calculus. So by using of the relational algebra, relational calculus, and then some query language as SQL, we have to be get the answers for these all questions. Okay, and a DBMS takes a great care to evaluate queries as efficient as possible. Actually, in the before slide, we are already see that so many number of tables are to be there in this the university database. So I want to be get the data, I want to be retrieve the data from those questions only, those queries only. By using of the query language, we have to be get and we have to be easily and effective to get the data from that's the database. Okay, then next, DBMS languages. That's our main concept here. It is that a DBMS has appropriate languages to express data queries and updates. We want to be express the queries and we want to be express the updates, so we have to be using these languages to expressing that's the database queries. And the database languages can to be used to read, store, and update the data in the database. For example, I want to be read the data from the database, or I want to be store is nothing but an inserting the data into the database, or I want to be update the data in the database. So here we have to be using these database languages. We want to be perform these all operations by using of these database languages. So here mainly we can to be focusing on that's the different types of database languages are there. Those database languages can to be classified further into that's the four types. One is for that's the data definition language. Second one is data manipulation language. Third one is data control language. And the fourth one is transaction control language. These are the four types of database languages. This is the DBMS languages. These all four types of languages can to be classified from the SQL, that is a structured query language. Now we'll be going to that's the what are the commands are to be coming under that's the data definition language or DDL. So these are the four commands are to be coming under this the data definition language. One is for the create, second one is drop, third one is truncate, fourth one is rename. So these are the different commands are to be coming under in this the data definition language. The next one is data manipulation language. In this the data manipulation language can contains these are the four commands. Those are the select command, insert command, delete command, and update command. These are the four different types of commands are to be there in that's the data manipulation language. The next one is data control language. The data control language can contains these two commands only. One is for the grant and then second one is for the revoke command. The next one is transaction control language. This the transaction control language can consist of these two commands. One is for the rollback and the second one is for the commit. So these are the different types of commands are to be coming under the each and every different type of database languages. Now we'll be discuss what is the use of the each and every command in detail. First of all, we have to be going to discuss about that's the data definition language. The DDL stands for data definition language. It is used to define database structure or pattern. So DDL, that is the full form for the DDL, is data definition language. It is used to define the database structure or then pattern. We want to be define the any structure in the database, must and should we have to be using the data definition language only. So by using of this the data definition language commands, we have to be create the schemas. Okay, schema is nothing but in there is the overall design of a database, or then tables or indexes, constraints, etc. in the database. By using of these data definition language commands, we can to be creating the schemas, tables, indexes, constraints also. So using these DDL commands, you can create the skeleton of the database. Okay, just you can by using of this DDL command, just you can to be create the skeleton structure of the DBMS. What is meant by skeleton structure? Just for example, I want to be create the one table. So in that the table can contains how many number of columns are there. Okay, what is the each and every column name. Okay, we have to be specifying that. There is the skeleton structure we have to be given. The next one is the DDL is used to store the information of metadata like the number of tables and schemas, their names, indexes, columns in each table, constraints, etc. What is the use for this the DDL data definition language? By using of this DDL, it is used to storing the information of the metadata. So metadata is nothing but an how many number of tables are there and how many number of schemas are there and what are their names and column names, indexes, constraints. These all are to be specified. These all are to be in metadata. This every data we can to be stored, okay, by using of DDL commands. And then the DDL is used to define the external and conceptual schemas. Already in the previous lectures we are already discussed about this the what is an external schema and what is about the conceptual schema. Yes, here these are the these are the 5 commands are to be coming under this DDL. Already we'll discuss in the previous slides. So here for first one is what is the use for the create command. Create command, it is used to create objects in the database. The next one is alter. Alter command is used to alter the structure of the database. Remember, very important. This is the alter command only to be using to altering means to modifying the structure of the database. How we can to be modifying the structure of the database? Just to we are already create the sum table by using of the create command. I want to be add the one more column. When we have to be add the one more column to the table, what happened? That is nothing but that is the altering of that's the structure. Okay, so by using of this modification of the structure, we must and should to be use the alter command. The next one is the drop. It is used to delete objects from the database. The drop command is used to delete the objects. Create command is used to create the objects and the drop command is used to delete the objects. Must and should to be remembered. The next truncate command. That's the truncate command is used to remove all records from a table. What are the records are to be there? So I want to be removing all the records from the table, then we have to be using this command truncate command. And the rename command, just the rename command we have to be used to change the name of the object or we have to be renaming an object. So these all are the data definition language commands. So most probably we have to be using this the create command, alter command and drop command and rename. These 4 commands most probably we have to be used at the time of the database developing. Okay. Next one is data manipulation language. In this the data manipulation language there is the DML. DML stands for the data manipulation language. It is used for accessing and manipulating data in a database. What is the use for this the DML commands or DML is that it is used for accessing and manipulating data in a database. For example, I want to be accessing the data from the database and I want to be manipulate means I want to be modifying the data. from the database. So by using of these data manipulation language, we can to be do that. So it handles the user's request, mainly that's the DML can to be handle the user requests. The DDL and DML are collectively referred to as a data sublanguage. Remember this point. It's a data sublanguage, the combination of the collective of the DDL and DML, that is to be referred to as a data sublanguage when embedded with the host language. So we have to be embedded these the DDL commands and DML commands with the any host language, that is either in the C or then COBOL. Here are some of tasks that come under DML. Already we'll be discussing the previous slides. What are the commands are to be coming under DML? So the first one is the select command, insert, update, delete command. These are the four commands are to be coming under DML. What is the use for the select command? Select command is used to retrieve the data from the database. What does that mean here? It is that already some data we are already stored in the database. I want to be get that the data. I want to be retrieve the data from the database. Then we have to be use the select command. The next one is insert. What is the use for this the insert command? It is used to insert data into a table. We want to be insert the some data into a table, then we have to be using the insert command. The next one is update. What is the use for the update command? Update command is used to update existing data within a table. I want to be updating or I want to be manipulating the some data already. What data is to be there in the database, I want to be manipulating that data. So then we have to be using that's the update command. The final command is in the data manipulation language is that delete. Delete command is used to delete all records from a table. What is the difference between that's the drop command and then delete command? The delete command only can deleting the what are the rows are to be there in that's the database. Okay, what data we are stored, only that data can to be deleted, not for the structure of the table. Remember that. But by using of the drop command, we can to be deleting the or we can to be drop the entire structure of the database table. The next one is data control language. So DCL, that's the DCL stands for data control language. It is used to retrieve the stored and saved data. So we want to be retrieving the stored and saved data, then that's the DCL commands are to be used. The DCL execution is transactional, remember this point. And it also has rollback parameters. These are the two commands are to be under this the DCL. The first one is grant command and the second one is for the revoke command. The grant command is used to give user access privileges to a database. Grant means that, for example, we are the users, we want to be accessing there's the some database. Must and should we have the some privileges, means we have the some permissions to accessing that's the database. By using how we can to be get the permissions, that's the database administrator to give the permissions by using of this grant command, then only we can to be accessing that's the database. Means as a user I can to be accessing that's the database, must and should I have the some privileges, means there is in permissions. Without permission, without authorization, it is not possible to accessing the database. So those permissions or those privileges are to be given by using of this the grant command. The next command is that revoke command. The revoke command is used to take back permissions from the user. Already I am giving the some permissions to the user, I want to be get back those permissions from the user, then we have to be use the revoke command. So this the grant command and revoke commands most probably can to be using for the who have the database administrator. So that's the database administrator can have these accessing or they have the control of these two commands. There is the grant command and then revoke command. That is the last type of DBMS languages. One is there is the transaction control language. TCL is used to run the changes made by the DML statement. Okay, that is the transaction control language is used to run the changes made by the DML statement. So what are the changes we can to be made by using of the DML means we by using of the update command or by using of the insert command we have to be do the some changes. Okay, that is can to be made by using of this the TCL. So then here it is that there is the TCL can be grouped into a logical transaction. Okay. Yes, here it is the these are the some of the tasks or some of the commands are to be coming under this the TCL transaction control language. One is for the commit and the second one is for the rollback. This the commit is used to save the transaction on the database. So we have to be do the some transactions. So I want to be save my transaction up to here. So then the commit we have to be used. And the rollback. What is the rollback here? It is that. So it is used to restore the database to original since the last commit means I will give the one example here. It is that we have to be type the some letter in the MS Word. So we have to be save after the 5 lines of data. I have to be save my document. Okay, so that is nothing but a commit, and after then we have to be continue to type. I have to be typing the another 5 lines also. In this case, that's the power failure. My PC has been shut down. So in this case, we have to be restoring that's the previous data on the last commit up to where we have to be saved. We want to be get that's the data. Okay, that's the last commit. We want to be restore the last commit. So that is about the rollback. Okay, these are the two commands are to be coming under this the transaction control language. So these are the different types of DBMS languages we have to be used to accessing the data from the databases. Okay, thank you to all.